Hey guys, this is Candle, and welcome back to my Nintendo games, part dos. We got Wii, Wii U, and Switch today, and just like most Wii owners, I ended up getting a copy of Wii Sports with my Wii. Yeah, it's a fun minigame collection. You know, you got baseball, bowling, boxing, golf, and tennis. I think bowling and golf are probably the best ones, but what's even better than the original Wii Sports is a Wii Sports Resort. Now, I picked this up mostly because of the Wii Motion Plus that came with it. You know, those were kind of hard to find for a little while, and so this is a new collection of mini games. There are a few repeats, like you've got golfing again, you've got bowling again, but there's other new ones such as piloting. There's like wave riding, cycling. There's like sword fighting, a few others, but still a collection of mini games. Still a lot of fun though. But the collection of mini games I got that was not so much fun is Wii Play. Yeah. I got this back when Wii remotes were still pretty hard to find, and I suspect that's why a lot of people picked this up because it included an extra Wii remote. So glad to have that. Now, what's not so easy to find still is Xenoblade Chronicles. Yeah. Um, what's funny about this was when it came out in the US. Mm, when it came out in the US, it was part of what's known as Operation Rainfall, where there were a trio of uh, Wii games that, for some reason, Nintendo of Europe and Nintendo of America didn't really want to localize. And eventually, there was a fan petition and brought them over. And Xenoblade Chronicles was the last one to come over. And it was also exclusive to GameStop. You could only get it at GameStop, and they sold out fairly quickly. And eventually, they found extra stock of it used and put it back on their shelves at a higher price, $80 instead of the original 50 it launched at, because it got to be a fairly rare and desirable game. And I've had some fun with it. I haven't spent too much time with it though. Uh, my experience with the Xeno franchise is more in terms of Xenosaga, and Xenoblade Chronicles has very little to do with that. So, but still, it's quite enjoyable. Speaking of Operation Rainfall, however, the other two games were Pandora's Tower. It was one of them. I haven't really spent any time with this, and if I can find it, oh, where is it? Let's see. Trying to find it real quick. There it is. There we go. The Last Story. Hironobu Sakaguchi game, music by Nobuo Uematsu. This was Sakaguchi's first game after pretty much his no, this was his third game after leaving Square, because he had Blue Dragon and Lost Odyssey before this. But Hironobu Sakaguchi, if he sounds at all familiar, he's the guy who started the Final Fantasy franchise, which I of course love. And I haven't spent enough time with this game, but I've always liked the idea of the guy who started Final Fantasy named a game The Last Story. It's always felt a little weird to me. Excuse me. So continuing onward, we have Tales of Symphonia: Dawn of the New World. This is the sequel to Tales of Symphonia on the GameCube. I haven't spent any time with this, but I've heard it's not as good as the original Tales of Symphonia, unfortunately. This came out for the Tales 10th anniversary, which just is mind-blowing to me to think that there had been 10 years of Tales games before this, starting with Tales of Fantasia on the Super Famicom, which we didn't get till the Game Boy Advance. I also have, of course, Super Smash Bros. Brawl. This was the first Smash game I ever owned. I have not played this at all. I just picked this up like a couple months ago, actually. So, talked about Paper Mario in the last video. Here is Super Paper Mario. Really, really enjoyable. Not quite what I was hoping for with a Paper Mario game, because it's a lot more platformer based than RPG based, but still really enjoyable. Oops, I'll pick that up in a second. And of course, we have Super Mario Galaxy 1 and 2. You know, if you like Super Mario Galaxy, you'll like 2. It's just more of the same. Really, really enjoyable games. You know, Nintendo pretty much always knocks it out of the park for the most part. Let's pick that up off the floor real quick. I don't want to talk about that one quite yet. That's how I find the other one. New Super Mario Brothers Wii. really odd because it comes in a red case, whereas most Wii games are in white cases. But if you've ever played the new Super Mario Brothers game, it's pretty much the exact same thing. You know, they don't really change them ever at all. Knight's Journey of Dreams. This is a remake of a Sega Saturn game, and it really is fun. A lot of the music in this is really wonderful too, but it's a weird game. I don't really know how to describe it. So on to the next one. I have the Metroid Prime Trilogy. This is the collector's edition. I don't know if there was another edition available, but it comes in a steelbook case. You know, you've got everything all on one disc. A pretty thick manual too. But this is the new play control versions of Metroid Prime 1 and 2 plus Metroid Prime 3 all in one package. I'm really, really hoping they're going to port this over to Switch at some point, preferably before Metroid Prime 4 comes out, but you never know. They may just decide not to. It can be tough to try to port Wii games over if they use the waggle controls, but Metroid Prime 1 and 2 at least, they do have original control schemes for those from the GameCube version. And of course, the other Metroid game I have for the Wii is Metroid Other M, the much maligned game of the franchise. I never spent much time with this one. You know, I just got it more to have it than anything else. I also have Fire Emblem Radiant Dawn, which is the sequel to Fire Emblem Path of Radiance. You don't see too many direct sequels in the Fire Emblem franchise. Usually they go to like a whole new world, or it's an entirely different era in a different world's history. But this is a direct sequel to Path of Radiance on the GameCube. I haven't really spent much time with this either. You're going to find a lot of games I haven't spent too much time with. One I did enjoy though was Sonic Colors. This was actually a lot of fun. Mostly 2D Sonic platforming, but a fair amount of 3D stages as well. And this was the first one that really started to mix that pretty well. And then after that, I think we got Sonic Generations after that. I don't remember if this came before or after Generations. Also, I have Silent Hill Shattered Memories. This, to me, is the best version of the game to play. It's also available on the PS2 and PSP. But to me, this is the best version to play because with the waggle controls, you can actually control the flashlight. This is a reimagining of the original Silent Hill game. I say reimagining, not remake, because it's a completely different story. It has the same opening scenario, same characters, but that's about it. It's completely different after that. Still a lot of fun, but once you realize the gimmick of it, there's like no challenge to it. Because the game is divided cleanly into two halves, and you kind of flip back and forth between them. You have the exploration phase where you're exploring Silent Hill and solving basic puzzles, and then you have the chase phase where you're in the other world, which is icy in this version, and you're being chased by monsters, and all you can do is just run from them. And that's really all there is to it. I did a Let's Play of that a few years ago, so if you want to check that out, go ahead. Speaking of survival horror, though, I have Resident Evil 4 Wii Edition. I used to have this on the PS2. I still need to get it eventually for the GameCube. But to me, outside of maybe the PC version, which I don't have yet, but this seems like it would be the best version to play because of the pointer controls for the Wii. Because my big gripe with Resident Evil 4 is you can't move while you aim, and I do not like that because I use movement to help fine-tune my aiming, plus help keep distance from the targets and everything, and you can't do that in this. It really sucks. But I've been enjoying more recent Resident Evil games. I really liked Resident Evil 7 and the Resident Evil 2 remake. So hopefully I can give this another shot sometime soon, maybe on the PS4 or on PC, and really try it. Next up are Red Steel and Red Steel 2. Red Steel was a launch title for the Wii, and it's really not that good, and the motion controls are really kind of terrible too. The game really doesn't work that well. Red Steel 2, however, works a hell of a lot better, and is a completely different story from Red Steel 1. It's almost like a complete reboot. I haven't gotten too far into it. I need to get back into this at some point. But this actually requires the Motion Plus for more fine-tuned precision controls and stuff like that. This is like what this was supposed to be, basically. But still a lot of fun. Alright, now we have Punch-Out for the Wii. You know, when you got a boxing game, you gotta put it on the Wii. It just makes the most sense. Now, this one is actually compatible with the Wii Balance Board. I don't actually have that. I never picked that up for some reason. I don't remember why. I just never got around to getting it. But still a lot of fun. Really a lot of fun. I think you can play with the controllers as well, just regular controls rather than doing all the waggle stuff. But still, definitely check that out. So another classic game is Okami. Awesome game. If you get a chance to try the HD version, really, really do. So again, this was originally a PS2 game, and but the Wii motion controls really kind of added to it, the paintbrush aspect and everything. And there's actually a fun little secret, if I can find it, because the Wii version, yeah, I don't know if you can see it, but the Wii version has a watermark, an IGN watermark on the cover, because for some reason the people who decided to port this over to the Wii couldn't be bothered to actually do their own cover art. They stole an image from IGN in order to do their cover, which I find is absolutely amazing. All right, so here's that other one. And of course, I have No More Heroes and No More Heroes 2 Desperate Struggle. Excellent, excellent games. Unfortunately, No More Heroes Travis Strikes Back on the Switch is not quite what I was hoping for, so I didn't get that. I really would like to see a No More Heroes 3, but the guy who made this is Suda51. I'm pretty sure this is a Suda game. Yeah, Grasshopper Manufacturers. Yeah, Suda51 has pretty much said, like, he wants to do No More Heroes 3 as well, but his ability to do so is entirely dependent on the success of Travis Strikes Back. And given what Travis Strikes Back is, I'm not interested. I'm sorry, Suda. All right, the next game is Endless Ocean. I actually picked this up with the hopes of checking it out and eventually getting my dad a copy of this and a Wii, because he's really into scuba diving, and that's what this game is. It's basically a scuba diving simulation game, and but unfortunately, it wasn't quite what I was hoping for looking at it, and I didn't think my dad would really enjoy it. He's not really a gamer or anything. I thought this would be a nice way to share my passions with him, you know, kind of an overlap for us, but it wasn't quite what I was hoping for. It's very boring, I felt, and knowing my dad, he'd prefer to actually go scuba diving than watch this kind of thing on the TV. In a video game form. All right, another game I have is what is black, white, and red all over? That would be Mad World. Very, very artistic style to this, where it literally is all black and white with splashes of red blood, and that's pretty much it. This is kind of like a beat 'em up as well, and it's quite a bit of fun, but it can also be fairly difficult. All right. Well, may as well talk about them. You may have noticed in the GameCube video, I did not show off Twilight Princess. That's because I don't have Twilight Princess for the GameCube. I do need to get a copy of that at some point. But instead, I have it for the Wii. And I also have Skyward Sword for the Wii, which also requires Wii Motion Plus. I never finished Skyward Sword. I did finish Twilight Princess. I enjoyed it. I don't think it's like the magnum opus a lot of people do. Like, a lot of people hail it as the second coming of Ocarina of Time. To me, I still think Wind Waker is better, but it's still enjoyable. Skyward Sword, I just never really could wrap my head around the motion controls for that. I always kind of had trouble with that one. I also have Kirby's Epic Yarn. Really, really fun, easy game. You know, this is, if you're starting out with video games, like you're not too used to them, this is a good way to go. You know, a lot of fun in that one. Harvest Moon Tree of Tranquility. I don't really know much about this one. I picked it up, I popped it in, and I haven't touched it since. And that was like, 12 years ago? No, 11 years ago, because this came out in 2008. Damn. Wow. And I remember, I think I got this brand new or near enough. So, yeah, this was for the 10th anniversary of Harvest Moon 2. Damn. All right. Running out of Wii games. I got Mario Kart Wii. Yeah, this is the full Wii wheel bundle here. And fun fact, I have a cousin who has a couple younger daughters, and they really like this game, so I let them borrow it, and I let them borrow the Wii wheel. They did not borrow the box at the time, though, and they never gave it back. I don't know what happened to it. I don't know if they thought I was giving it to them instead of just letting them borrow it or what, but they never gave it back. So I eventually decided, you know what? they've had it long enough. They can keep it. I went out and bought myself a new Wii wheel and a new copy of the game, so I got the complete package again. You know, not the same ones that came in the box, but still near enough. All right. So next up we have The Blob and The Blob 2, and these are fun games. Well, The Blob is fun. I haven't tried The Blob 2 yet. I picked that up recently, so I haven't had a chance to play the sequel yet. But The Blob was a lot of fun. You're playing as this little blob that splashes himself in paint and then uses that to paint the various buildings and bring color back to the world. So I imagine The Blob 2 is pretty much more of the same. All right, we have The Conduit. This is a first-person shooter on the Wii, one of the first proofs that first-person shooters could actually do really well on the Wii, and I've never played it. Enough said. We have Disney Epic Mickey. This is from Warren Spector, the guy who made Deus Ex, funnily enough, and this was actually a really fun game. It stars Mickey Mouse, obviously. You play as Mickey. But the villain is Oswald the Lucky Rabbit, who, if you don't know your Disney lore, Oswald is the character Walt Disney created before Mickey Mouse. That was like his first big character. But unfortunately, the studio he was working for at the time kept the rights, and he wasn't able to keep it when he went off on his own. So that's how he ended up making Mickey Mouse. But so a lot of this game kind of revolves around Oswald feeling like left out and everything, and blaming Mickey and stuff, and it's a lot of fun. And then the last Wii game I have is Donkey Kong Country Returns, which is a return to form for the Donkey Kong Country series. Not made by Rare, it's actually made by, what, Retro 5, I think? No, Retro Studios. So it's made by Retro Studios. They've handled a few other Nintendo properties in the past, and yeah, it's a lot of fun. Anyways, that is all my Wii games. On to the Wii U. Star Fox Zero. I do not like this game. I don't like the controls. I like the concept where you've got the field view on the TV and the cockpit view on the Wii U gamepad, but I just feel like it didn't really work that well, and so I didn't really like it. And then this also includes Star Fox Guard, which is, well, it was originally a tech demo, but they turned it into basically a tower defense game, and they just decided for some reason to bundle it in together. I've seen these on sale separately, but back when Star Fox Zero first came out, it was all packaged together. All right, I also have Zombie U. This was a launch title for the Wii U. It's been ported to other platforms just simply as Zombie now. But this is basically a Dark Souls-esque zombie survival game. You know, it's got permadeath and stuff like that, so I didn't really particularly enjoy it, but there are people out there who do love this game. I don't know why, but they're there. All right, I got Yoshi's Woolly World, and I haven't actually played this anymore. This is kind of in the same vein as Kirby's Epic Yarn, where it's kind of like a craft work. Like Kirby's Epic Yarn, everything is made out of yarn. Here, everything is made out of knitted and crocheted wool and stuff like that. So it's kind of fun, at least in concept. Like I said, I haven't actually played this, but again, it's another Yoshi game. So there's a new one coming out for the Switch soon, Yoshi's Crafted World or something like that. I don't know if it may already be out. Of course, I did pick up Pikmin 3 at some point. I really did enjoy this. I actually enjoy it more than Pikmin 1 or 2, but I don't like the final stages of this game. I thought it was just too tough, too difficult, and I just didn't enjoy it. The final stages. I enjoyed the game as a whole, though. Let's see. Yes, I have The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess HD. I picked this up brand new, so it's got the Wolf Link amiibo in it. It's actually the only amiibo I own. I never really got into like collecting Kish like that, and I don't know. I just got it because it's part of the whole package. But speaking of other Zelda HD games, I also have Legend of Zelda Wind Waker HD, much better than the GameCube version. The only thing I don't like about this is the overuse of Bloom. I felt like if they had not added that in, kept like the original art style a little bit more, it would have worked a little bit better for me. But still, a much more excellent way to play this game, especially since they streamlined the whole ladder ending portion of the game, where you got to find the Triforce pieces. So Really good. But of course, I also have Hyrule Warriors. This is the Dynasty Warriors style Zelda game. Basically, Zelda themed Dynasty Warriors. It's from Team Ninja. And quite a bit of fun. I'd never really played a Dynasty Warriors type game before this, aside from Drakengard on the PS2. And I enjoyed this quite a bit. I ended up completing the main story, but I never got any of the DLC. Maybe someday I'll get the definitive edition on the Wii U and play through, or on the Switch and play through that. So I already talked about Donkey Kong Country Returns. How about the sequel, Tropical Freeze? Now, I already had a Switch. The Switch version had already come out by the time I picked this up, but this was cheaper, so that's why I got this. It's still enjoyable. You know, it's Donkey Kong Country. Enough said. We have Disney Epic Mickey, Disney Epic Mickey 2, The Power of Two, and where it looks like Oswald the Lucky Rabbit teams up with Mickey Mouse this time. I have not actually played this, so I don't know anything about it really, besides it's the sequel to Epic Mickey. Let's see. I have Pokken Tournament, and I've never played this. I just picked it up recently, so I haven't really given it a chance yet. But it's a Pokemon fighting game, and that's all I really know about it. I'll probably wait till I can pick up the Switch version, because that has like more stuff in it. I also have Shantae Half Genie Hero. This is a remake of Shantae and Shantae 2, I think, or at least Shantae 1. I don't really remember. But this was from Way Forward, who I think were the people who made the original Shantae games. I haven't actually played this yet, again, so I don't really know too much about it. I just picked it up. It was cheap. Let's see. What else? Ah, yes. New Super Mario Bros. 2. If you play the New Super Mario Bros. Game, you've played New Super Mario Bros. U. There we go. We got Mario Kart 8. Again, in the red box. I don't really know why, but Nintendo does this every now and then for Mario games. Really, really enjoyable. I do prefer the Switch version, though, because it has more content. But really, really fun game. It's probably, I would say, third favorite Mario Kart game, but only because of Double Dash and the Mario Kart 8 on the Switch is better. So, and of course, the game that came with the Wii U, Nintendo Land, just a collection of mini games. Some of them are really interesting, like Luigi's Ghost Mansion, which is kind of like a Pac-Man type thing, and that's really the only one I can think of that was like really super cool. But it's kind of really just a collection of tech demos and mini games to show off what the Wii U gamepad could do. Unfortunately, nobody really, besides Nintendo, really capitalized on the gamepad all that much. And I have Paper Mario Color Splash, which, again, I haven't played yet. But I do like the fact that, again, they're diving into that more unique art style where everything's made out of paper and stuff. And this time, actually, a lot of it is made out of actual like paper craft stuff as well. You know, like cardboard and stuff like that, too. So this has some interesting mechanics with the gamepad, though, in the combat. I know that much. But, again, I haven't really played it yet, so I don't know too much about it. Let's see. We also have Bayonetta 2, which also includes Bayonetta 1, which for this is actually on a disc. You know, you got 1 and 2. So that's good because, unfortunately, Bayonetta 2 on the Switch only includes a download code of Bayonetta 1, I believe. There's not an actual separate cartridge or anything like that, which really sucks. I hate it when they do that because if you ever try to pick it up used, it's like you're only getting half the game, which always sucks. Anyways, really, really good game, Spectacle Fighter. One of these days, I gotta LP these, so maybe that'll be sometime in the near future. I don't know. I got a lot of games I want to Let's Play. Anyways, we also have Splatoon, kind of a surprise hit here. A lot of fun. Really enjoyed it. Didn't really stick around too much after playing the main story, though, because I'm not really much of a multiplayer guy. It did hold my attention for like close to a month, though, so that's pretty good. Anyways, we have Sonic Boom Rise of Lyric. I can't believe it took them that long to make a game titled Sonic Boom, but kind of a shitty Sonic game. No doubt about it. Shitty game. Don't ever play it. Ever. However, what's not as shitty, but still not so good, is Sonic Lost World. Sonic Lost World. This one had a really interesting concept where it kind of went the Mario Galaxy route, where in Mario Galaxy you're like running around on spheres and like all these real weird objects and stuff. And Sonic Lost World uses a lot of tubes and stuff where you can actually kind of run to the underside and stuff like that. So that was kind of a neat concept though, but I didn't really get too far into, or too well into this game. I beat it, but like I didn't enjoy it all that much. Anyways, I also have the Wonderful 101. I started this game and got a little bit into it and didn't really care much for it. So I shut it off and haven't touched it since. This is from Platinum Games. These are the same people who made Bayonetta. And I thought I would like it, but no, not really. So that leaves Xenoblade Chronicles X, which is a more single-player MMO style. Like, it feels a lot like an MMO, except you're playing single-player. Set in the Xenoblade Chronicles universe. I don't know, like, how connected this is to Xenoblade Chronicles 1 or 2. Because what I've played of it, like, I haven't played much. I barely started this thing before shutting it off. But it didn't really seem to have any connection to any of the other Xenoblade games, or even any of the Xeno games in general, other than the fact that you got these giant mechs. That's definitely a running theme throughout the Xeno games, but other than that, yeah, I'd pass. And then the last Wii U game I have is Super Mario 3D World, which was the first proper Mario game in 3D. You know, Super Mario Bros. U doesn't count. Or not 3D, in HD. Yeah, New Super Mario Bros. U doesn't count. Not quite what I was hoping for, though. This is actually, oddly enough, this is a sequel to Super Mario 3D Land on the 3DS, and the 3D aspect actually worked there because you had stereoscopic 3D, so you could actually play around with things that way with the depth and everything, and it just didn't really feel like it worked that well here. Although this did give us our second dose of Captain Toad treasure tracker type levels before they decided to make that its own game, which I unfortunately don't have, because that is the end of my Wii U collection, leaving just the Switch, and may as well get this one out of the way real quick. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. I just picked this up last month. I've barely started the World of Light. I've never played a Smash Brothers game before, so I have no idea what the fuck I'm doing. I really should go through some of the tutorials. Yeah, Super Smash Brothers. I did enjoy what little of it I played. I just had no idea what the hell was going on. So I'm hoping to get back into this at some point. I also have Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battles. Was anybody expecting this when this came out, when they announced this? You know, it's a Ubisoft game, and it's Mario plus Rabbids. Who the hell cares about Rabbids? But this is actually a really fun turn-based squad tactical game. You know, along the same lines as XCOM, Enemy Unknown, XCOM 2, and stuff like that. So it's a lot of fun, and there's actually a really good DLC pack out now that is Donkey Kong, like Donkey Kong Country centered, and it's a lot of fun. So yeah. We also have Octopath Traveler. I really wanted to like this. I'll probably give it another shot at some point, but the art style is to die for, but the story it didn't grab me. I don't know if it's because of the whole, you pick 1 out of 8 characters and then you have to run around the world collecting the others in order to get their full stories and everything, and it's all like optional and stuff like that, but it didn't grab me. However, I do want to give this another shot, a more serious try. Let's see. We also have Fire Emblem Warriors. You know, Hyrule Warriors wasn't the only Nintendo-themed Dynasty Warriors game that Team Ninja put out. They also did Fire Emblem Warriors. I would not recommend this to people who aren't already fans of the Fire Emblem franchise, though, because you're not going to understand what any of the characters are, or what's going on or anything. However, I also wouldn't recommend it to Fire Emblem fans unless you also like Dynasty Warriors, because that's basically all it is. Let's see, we have Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, certainly a much better game than Mario Kart 8, simply because it adds in a whole bunch of new stuff, plus all the DLC packs and everything. And it's Mario Kart 8 on the go. You know, can't really say anything better than that. Of course, the game I got with my Switch on launch day, Breath of the Wild. Really enjoyable game. I did feel like the dungeon designs were a bit lackluster, but I do understand why they did that. You can kind of treat it like the whole world as a dungeon, and you're kind of wandering around and stuff like that. So still a lot of fun though. Let's see. Splatoon 2, basically the same as Splatoon 1. You pretty much could have just called this Splatoon Deluxe or whatever, and it would have been pretty much the same game. There's not really too much extra in here, so once I beat the main story, I didn't really touch this game. Alright, Super Mario Odyssey, really, really good Mario game. Not as good as Super Mario 64, which I wish I had on the N64. I don't, unfortunately, but I wish I did. To me, you know, Mario 64, that's what I played as a kid. That's always going to be like the high point. But Super Mario Odyssey was still pretty good. I did enjoy the capture mechanic, but yeah, Super Mario Odyssey. And then the last Switch game I have is Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu, which, along with Let's Go Eevee, are remakes of Pokemon Yellow. And this is actually the second attempt at a remake of the Gen 1 games. The first attempt was Fire Red and Leaf Green on the Game Boy Advance. So I am enjoying this. I'm still playing this. I just picked it up recently, though. So I've only gotten through the second gym battle with Misty and Cerulean City. And I'm really enjoying this. The only thing I don't like is that I pretty much have to play it in handheld mode. I was really looking forward to playing this, having a proper Pokemon adventure on the TV. But I pretty much have to play it in handheld mode because I don't like the motion controls. I don't like the fact that it only uses one Joy-Con and everything. It's like I can't really reach all the buttons properly, just holding one Joy-Con. And I don't have the Pokeball to go with it, unfortunately. But still, I am enjoying this. I do like the fact that there's no more random battles. I'm hoping they keep that for Pokemon Sword and Shield, but then nix the actual motion controls for capturing the Pokemon. So anyways, that is it for my Nintendo console games. Next up are the Nintendo handhelds. So I shall see you guys then. Thanks for watching. Please remember to comment, rate, and subscribe.